Ladies, gents and teddy bears, welcome to Lost Airfields episode 3. Ted and I are on Dartmoor in Devon. Now we are at former RAF Harrowbeer, bringing it back to life. Now RAF Harrowbeer, the guardian of the southwest, and the Royal Air Force Station of Dartmoor. The Ted Coningsby Squadron bring back to life the RAF Station of Dartmoor, which was built in the town of Yelverton. The Air Ministry did not think that Plymouth would ever encounter a threat to bombing, but this wasn't true. This is why most defences and airfields can be found to the east of England. You see, the closer you are to your enemy. The problem was, as Germany were conquering land through Europe and advancing, the western parts of England got closer and closer. The Plymouth Blitz began on the 6th of July 1940, so the construction of the new base on Dartmoor was given the go-ahead. The Air Ministry had decreed in 1940 that all new airfields would be equipped with tarmac runways because of the difficulties experienced by squadrons on all grass airfields, and RAF Harrowbeer was built with 3 tarmac runways using the very rubble from the Blitz of Plymouth. RAF Harrowbeer had a few challenges, even down to the naming of it. You see, RAF Harrowbeer was built within the infrastructure of the town of Yelverton. This was a problem calling it RAF Yelverton, as it sounds very similar to Yeovilton. So a decision was made to name it to the nearby village of Harrowbeer instead of Yelverton. Having an RAF base inside a village posed another problem: the actual height of the surrounding buildings. Now, the buildings and the shops which you can see today are a little bit short. You see, they couldn't build them more than 1 floor high. RAF Harrowbeer was operational in 1941, and the airfield was under the control of No. 10 Group, which was never assigned a station badge. From the very first squadrons to operate, to 500 Squadron, to Bristol Blenheims, to Spitfires, Whirlwind fighter bombers, to the arrival of the Hawker Typhoon, of the formation of 193 Squadron, RAF Harrowbeer played a very important role. Initially, RAF Harrowbeer's role was to escort shipping in the English Channel, offer protection against German U-boats, escorting bombers to France and back, and to protect the south coast between Land's End and Dorset. It was then involved in more ground fighter attack missions. Many countries were based at RAF Harrowbeer, such as 302 Squadron Polish, 312 Squadron the Czechoslovakian, American, French and Canadian squadrons too. It was also the home of 276 Squadron Air Sea Rescue. In October the 10th, 1942 saw the arrival of 175 Squadron with their Hurricane bomber aircraft, which were to carry out low-level shipping strikes. Formed at RAF Harrowbeer on the 18th of December 1942 were 193 Squadron, which took delivery firstly of 4 new Hawker Hurricanes, but were originally designated as a fighter ground attack unit. They became operational with the Hawker Typhoon in 1943. The squadron carried out many ground attacks, and the Typhoons were modified to carry bombs. The Typhoon was considered to be a little bit unreliable, with difficulty starting it up, but it was to play a very effective part in the Battle of Normandy in 1944 and was used in a ground attack role. In 1944, RAF Harrowbeer was involved in Operation Overlord and played a key role in the forthcoming invasion of occupied Europe. It was after this operation that RAF Harrowbeer was to see its end of days. In August 1944, the station became a satellite of Exeter, and the Free France 329 Squadron was the last operational unit to use this airfield, flying the Spitfire Mark 9 fighters until June 1945. After the war in Europe, RAF Harrowbeer had fulfilled its role, playing its invaluable role, but sadly was no longer required. RAF Harrowbeer was nearly kept alive by becoming a local airport, but this was declined. What remains are the runways, hangar bases and blast pens. This is a former base that is very accessible even by car and serves as a reminder that freedom was a victory. But we must never forget those that gave their lives for this very freedom.
you.